CIET NCERT presents audiobook Khel Yatra, textbook of physical education and well-being for grade 7.
Page 55, Unit 3, Fundamental Skills of Sports. On the left side of the page, you will find a QR code. Scanning the QR code will take you to additional resources about this chapter. In the top right corner, there is a picture of a girl playing badminton. Badminton. In the middle of the page, there is another picture of the badminton court. Quoting, serve is an important skill. Badminton is a fun and fast-paced sport, played with a shuttlecock and a racket. It can be played as singles, one player on each side, or doubles, two players on each side. The objective is to hit the shuttlecock over the net and land it in the opponent's court to score points. Badminton improves physical fitness, hand-eye coordination, and reflexes. It is an Olympic sport and popular worldwide. Page 56. Forehand grip and air toss. There's a table on top of the page. Warm-up. Wrist rotation, flexion, and extension. Skill. Forehand grip. Cool down. Wrist stretching. Circle time. Understand the importance of forehand grip. The grip is how you hold the racket, and the stance is the initial stationary position of your body for executing the desired skill. Both are key for playing better badminton. Forehand grip. Steps to learn. Point 1. Use a handshake grip to hold the racket. Point 2. Grip the lower part of the handle for better control. Point 3. Place your index finger slightly higher on the grip. Point 4. The racket should be held perpendicular to the floor. Point 5. Rest your thumb gently on the lower left side, touching the middle finger. Point 6. Hold the racket loosely and squeeze it lightly for a relaxed grip. On this page, there are two pictures. On the right side, there is a hand depicting how to hold the badminton racket. On the left bottom side of the page, there is a picture depicting how to grip the badminton racket properly. Page 57. Point 7. Hit a plastic shuttlecock with the racket using the forehand grip and try to keep it in the air as long as possible. At the top right corner, there is a picture of a hand depicting how to hold the badminton racket. Lead-up activity. Point 1. Divide the players into pairs. Point 2. Ask the players to tap the shuttlecock using only the forehand grip up into the air 5 times and play back it to their partner without dropping it. Point 3. Now the partner will tap the shuttlecock 5 times and it will continue until the shuttlecock drops. Point 4. The pair with the minimum number of drops will be the winner. Point 6. Increase the number of taps in a row progressively without dropping the shuttlecock. Note for the teacher. The teacher can identify the incorrect grip or stance while the players are practicing and guide them to correct it. Circle time. Understand the importance of forehand grip. Discuss how many times you were forced to change your grip and what you did to maintain the right grip. Page 58. Backhand grip and air toss. There's a table at the beginning of the page which is divided in 4 parts. Part 1. Warm-up. Warm-up includes overhead arm stretch, waist rotation, flexion, extension, shoulder rotation. Part 2, skill. Skill includes backhand grip. Part 3, cool down. Cool down includes elbow stretching, shoulder stretching. Part 4, circle time. Circle time includes attention to the grip. The grip refers to how you hold the racket, while the stance is your initial stationary position for executing the desired skill. Both are key skills for playing better badminton. Backhand grip. Steps to learn. Point 1. Place the base of your thumb against the back of the handle. Point 2. Your index finger and other fingers should wrap around the handle comfortably. Point 3. Don't hold your racket too tightly and squeeze it gently to switch the grip. Point 4. Hit a shuttlecock with the racket using the backhand grip and try to keep the shuttlecock up in the air as long as possible. Point 5. The racket should be held perpendicular to the ground. In the left corner, there is a picture depicting how to hold the racket. In the right corner, there is a picture depicting how to hold the racket by moving the hand towards the left side. Page 59. Lead up activity. Point 1. Divide the players into pairs. Point 2. Ask the players to tap the shuttlecock using only the backhand grip up into the air 5 times and toss it to their partner without dropping it. Point 3. Now the partner will tap the shuttlecock 5 times and it will continue until the shuttlecock drops. Point 4. The pair with the minimum number of drops will be the winner. Point 5. Increase the number of taps in a row progressively without dropping the shuttlecock. On the top right side of the page, there is the picture of a wheelchair-stricken girl playing badminton. Circle time. Attention to the grip. Compare the forehand grip and the backhand grip while hitting the shuttlecock and discuss the differences you experience. Page 60. Footwork skills. On the top of the page, there is a table which is divided in 4 parts. Part 1. Warm-up. It includes squats, lunging and ladder drills, high knees. Part 2. Skill. It includes footwork skills. Part 3. Cool down. It includes seated forward hold, butterfly stretch. Part 4. Circle time. It includes analyzing footwork steps and reaction time through footwork. Good footwork helps you reach the shuttlecock quickly across the court. It includes different steps and movements that make it easier to move around the court and stay balanced. Footwork skills. Steps to learn. Step 1. Chassé steps mean one foot follows the other without catching up. Point 2. The back foot stays slightly behind the front foot at an angle. Point 3. Use chassé steps to move sideways, diagonally, forward, and in backward directions. Point 4. Start with short distances to teach chassé steps effectively. Point 5. Chassé movements should end with a shuttlecock toss to a partner. Page 61. Lead up activity. At the top of the page, there is a picture of a badminton court where a boy is standing on one side of the court and some circles are depicting the positions of the buckets to be kept. Point 1. Place 6 buckets as shown in the figure. Point 2. Place 6 shuttlecocks at the center of the court. Point 3. When commanded, the player will take one shuttlecock at a time and put it inside any bucket using proper footwork. Point 4. One by one, the player will put all the shuttlecocks into all the buckets. Point 5. The player who completes the drill in the shortest time will be the winner. Circle time. Reaction time through footwork. Discuss how practicing this footwork drill can enhance your playing ability. Page 62. Backhand low serve. At the top of the page, there is a table which is divided in 4 parts. Part 1. Warm up. It includes tricep stretching, forearm stretching. Part 2. Skill. Backhand low serve. Part 3. Cool down. It includes standing forward fold, overhead tricep stretch, chest stretch. Point 4. Circle time. It includes hand-eye coordination, service rules. For the backhand low service, the shuttlecock must pass from one service court to the diagonally opposite service court, and the rest of the service rules should be followed. The backhand low service passes close to the top of the net and lands at the front of the diagonally opposite service area. Backhand low serve. Steps to learn. Point 1. Apply backhand grip. Point 2. Hold the shuttlecock at waist level using the index and thumb fingers. Point 2. Hold the shuttlecock at waist level using the index and thumb fingers of the non-racket arm. Point 3. Place the racket in front of the body, bend the elbow, rotate forward slightly downward so that the racket faces the shuttlecock. At the bottom right corner, there is a picture depicting the same method. Page 63. Point 4. Take a short back swing of the racket and hold the racket face slightly up. Point 5. Push the shuttlecock gently forward in a way that it just passes over the net. At the top left corner of the page, there is a picture where a boy is holding the racket diagonal and keeping the shuttlecock on the middle of the racket. At the middle of the page, there is another picture depicting the same backhand low serve. Lead up activity. Point 1. Players can practice serving and try to land a correct service as close as possible to the short service line. Point 2. The teacher can create an arch near the T-joint and short service line using markers and ask the players to land the shuttlecock in the arch using the backhand low service. Point 3. 10 chances will be given and the player who will lead the shuttlecock inside the circle for the maximum number of times will be the winner. Circle time. Hand-eye coordination. Service rules. Discuss the service rules in badminton. Page 64. Backhand lift. There is a table at the top of the page which has 4 parts. Part 1. Warm up. It includes shoulder rotation, dynamic forward lunges. Part 2. Skill. It includes backhand lift. Part 3. Cool down. It includes slow, static stretching. Part 4. Circle time. Here we identify the mistakes. It is easier to generate power in this stroke. This stroke will provide more recovery time to reach the center of the court. Backhand lift. Steps to learn. Point 1. Use a backhand grip to hold the racket comfortably. Point 2. Position your body sideways with your racket foot slightly forward. Point 3. Swing the racket upward with a smooth motion while using your wrist for control. Point 4. Contact the shuttlecock below the tip of the net and lift it high towards the back of the court. Point 5. Players can also hit the shuttlecock across the court. Point 6. Follow through gently after the shot to maintain balance and control. At the left corner of the page, there is a picture of a girl depicting the backhand lift. Page 65. Lead up activity. Point 1. Identify a feeder and a lifter. Provide 20 shuttlecocks to the feeder. Point 2. The feeder will throw the shuttlecock to the lifter and the lifter will play the backhand lift shot to hit the shuttlecock into the circles drawn into the opposite court as shown in the figure. Point 3. The lifter will score 5 points for dropping the shuttlecock into the circle and 1 point anywhere inside the court. Point 4. You can also play the rally in pairs without dropping the shuttlecock. Mark out target zones where the players are supposed to aim to hit the shuttlecock. At the right side of the page, there is a picture of a badminton court where the feeder is throwing the shuttlecock to the lifter and the lifter is aiming them to the circles. Note for the teacher. Teachers can identify the mistakes while the players can practice and try to correct them. Circle time. Identify the mistakes. Players will discuss the right technique and service rules. Try to identify who among them performed better. Page 66. Forehand lift. At the top of the page there is a table which is divided in 4 parts. Part 1. Warm-up, which includes shoulder rotation, trunk rotation and calf stretch. Point 2. Skill, which includes forehand lift. Point 3. Cool down, which includes forward bending, ground touch. Point 4. Circle time, which is right technique. When the shuttlecock is low, you can use this shot to lift it high and far. This gives you more time to prepare for the next shot. Forehand lift. Point 1. Use a forehand grip to hold the racket comfortably. Point 2. Position your body diagonally with your racket foot slightly forward. Point 3. Swing the racket upward in a smooth motion, using your wrist and forearm for control. Point 4. Contact the shuttlecock below the tap and lift it high towards the back of the opponent's court. Point 5. Follow through naturally to maintain balance and control after the shot. At the left side of the page, there's a picture of a girl doing the forehand lift with her hand swinging downwards. On the right side of the page, the same girl lifted her racket hand upward. Page 67. Lead up activity. Point 1. Identify a feeder and a lifter. Provide 20 shuttlecocks to the feeder. Point 2. The feeder will throw the shuttlecocks one by one to the lifter and the lifter will play the forehand lift shot to hit the shuttlecock into the circles drawn into the opposite court as shown in the figure. Point 3. The lifter will score 5 points for dropping the shuttlecock into the circle and 1 point anywhere inside the court. Point 4. You can also play the rally in pairs without dropping the shuttlecock. Mark out target zones where the players are supposed to aim to hit the shuttlecock. On the right side of the page, there is a picture of the badminton court where the feeder is throwing the shuttlecock one by one to the lifter and the lifter is playing the forehand lift shot and aiming it to the circles. Note for the teacher. The teacher will identify the mistakes while players can practice and try to correct them. Circle time. Right technique. Players will discuss the right technique and try to identify who among them performed better. Page 68. Forehand high serve. At the top of the page there is a table which is divided in 4 parts. Part 1. Warm up, which includes leaping and skipping cross-toe touch. Point 2. Skill, which includes forehand high serve. Point 3. Cool down. It includes sit and reach. Point 4. Circle time. This includes path of the shuttlecock while hitting. The serve sends the shuttlecock high and far into the opponent's side of the court. It's a good way to start the game and push the opponent back. Forehand high serve. Steps to learn. Point 1. Use a forehand grip and stand with your non-racket foot forward. Point 2. Hold the shuttlecock by the feathers as shown in the picture. Point 3. Swing the racket smoothly upward in a controlled motion. The non-racket foot refers to the foot on the opposite side of the hand holding the racket. On the left side of the page, there is a picture of a girl depicting the forehand high serve with her racket hand moving upwards. On the bottom right side of the page, there is a picture of a girl swinging her hand backwards and forward to hit the shuttlecock with her racket hand. Page 69.4. Hit the shuttlecock below the waist level to lift it high and deep into the opponent's court. Point 5. Follow through naturally to maintain balance and accuracy. On the top left side of the page, there is a picture of a girl hitting the shuttlecock below her waist level. On the right side of the page, there is a picture of the same girl maintaining her body balance. Lead-up activity. As shown in the figure, set up the net and have two players stand horizontally in the middle of the opposite court, with rackets raised at the top of their heads in their hands. Mark a line in the opposite court just before the back line. Each player will get 5 chances to serve. The objective will be to drop the serve towards the back of the player. The shuttlecock should travel, passing over the top of the racket of the opponent. On the right side of the page, there is a picture of a badminton court where the first player is hitting the shuttlecock, passing it over the top of the racket of their opponents. Circle time. Path of the shuttlecock while hitting. Point 1. Discuss how high you should hit the shuttlecock so that it goes above the racket of the opponent player but not so far. Point 2. Discuss the flight and the direction of the shuttlecock. Page 70. Forehand low serve. There is a table at the beginning of the page which is divided in 4 parts. Part 1. Warm-up. It includes spot running, star jump. Part 2. Skill. Forehand low serve. Part 3. Cool down, which includes head to toe stretch. Part 4. Circle time, which includes placement of the service with accuracy. There are 2 types of forehand serves, high serve and low serve. We will learn low serve in this lesson. Forehand low serve. Steps to learn. Point 1. Stand sideways in the service box with the forehand grip, holding the racket and shuttlecock high and keeping your weight on the rear leg. Point 2. Transfer your weight forward. Drop the shuttlecock slightly towards the front or to the side and lower the racket while bending your wrist. On the left side of the page, there is a picture of a boy holding the racket and shuttlecock high and keeping his weight on the rear leg. At the bottom right corner of the page, there is a picture of the same boy transferring his weight forward and dropping the shuttlecock slightly to aim at the shuttlecock. Page 71.3. Swing the racket forward, maintaining a bent wrist and using a smooth motion. Point 4. Strike the shuttlecock towards the front or to the side while pushing through the shuttlecock for control. Point 5. Finish the shot by bringing the racket back to the ready position. On the top left side of the page, there is a picture of a boy aiming the shuttlecock and hitting it by his racket hand. On the top right side of the page, there is a picture of a boy getting back to his ready position after hitting the shuttlecock. Lead-up activity. Place 2 buckets close to the service line as shown in the figure. Players will take turns to serve so that the shuttlecock falls into the bucket. 1 point will be scored for dropping the shuttlecock in the bucket. On the right side of the page, there's a picture of a badminton court where a player is aiming the shuttlecocks to the buckets. Circle time. Placement of the service with accuracy. Discuss how you will decide where to serve based on the position and movement of the opponents. Page 72. Forehand drive. There's a table at the beginning of the page, which is divided in 4 parts. Part 1, warm-up. It includes biceps and tricep stretch, trunk rotation. Part 2, skill. It includes forehand drive. Part 3, cool down. It includes general cool down exercise with special focus on upper body. Part 4, circle time. It includes the right technique. The forehand drive is an offensive flat shot that is usually played over the net. Its purpose is to put pressure on the opponent by shortening their reaction time. Forehand drive. Steps to learn. Point 1. Ready your racket with a forehand grip and step out to hit the shuttlecock with slightly bent elbows. Point 2. Extend the elbow by relaxing the wrist and hit the shuttlecock in front of your body. At the left side of the page, there's a picture of a girl standing in ready position with her elbows slightly bent. At the center of the page, there's another picture of the same girl extending her elbow by relaxing her wrist and hitting the shuttlecock. Page 73. Point 3. Then hit the shuttlecock flat and straight towards the opponent's court. Point 4. After hitting the shuttlecock, body weight should lift to the non-racket foot and the racket will follow the path of the shuttlecock. At the top left side of the page, there's a picture of a girl hitting the shuttlecock towards the opponent's court. At the top right side of the page, there's a picture of the same girl shifting her body weight to the non-racket foot. Lead-up activity. The feeder standing across the net will feed the player to parallelly to the forehand side, while the player has to return the shuttlecock using a forehand drive. At the right side of the page, there's a picture of the badminton court depicting the drop to point zone and showing the pattern of 5-3-3-5, which means 5 shots to the rear court, 3 shots to the mid court, 3 shots to the front court, and 5 shots again to the rear court. Circle time. Right technique. Discuss how fast you should hit the shuttlecock to go towards the opponent's court. Point 2. Also discuss the hand and foot movement for hitting the shuttlecock towards the opponent's court. Page 74. Backhand drive. There's a table at the beginning of the page which is divided in 4 parts. Part 1, warm-up. Leaping and skipping, cross-toe touch. Part 2, skill. Backhand drive. Part 3, cool down. It includes slow or static stretching. Part 4, circle time. It includes right technique. The backhand drive is an offensive flat shot that is usually played over the net. Its purpose is to put pressure on the opponent by shortening their reaction time. Backhand drive. Steps to learn. Point 1. Position yourself with a backhand grip. Turn your non-racket shoulder towards the shuttle and bring the racket back near your non-racket shoulder. Swing forward with the wrist snap, making contact with the shuttlecock in front of your body. Then follow through slightly and return to the ready position. Point 2. Hold the forearm up, hit the shuttlecock in front or to the side. Reach out and extend your elbow. At the bottom right side of the page, there's another picture of that boy holding the forearm up to hit the shuttlecock in front or to the side. Page 75. Point 3. Hit the shuttlecock in front or on the side of your body at the highest point possible. Point 4. Turn back to the net, keeping the racket ready. On the top left side of the page, there is a picture of a boy hitting the shuttlecock. At the center of the page, there is another picture of that boy keeping his racket ready. Lead up activity. The feeder standing across the net will feed the player parallelly to the forehand side while the player has to return the shuttlecock using a backhand drive. At the right side of the page, there's a picture of the badminton court depicting drops 2-point zone and a pattern of 5-3-3-5 showing 5 shots to the rear court, 3 shots to the mid court, 3 shots to the front court, and again 5 shots to the rear court. Circle time. Right technique. Point 1. Discuss how fast you should hit the shuttlecock so that it moves parallel to the ground. Point 2. Also discuss the hand and foot movement for hitting the shuttlecock parallel to the ground. Page 76. Forehand clear. There is a table at the beginning of the page divided in 4 parts. Part 1. Warm-up. It includes overhead arm stretch, rear shoulder touch, shoulder rotation. Part 2. Skill. It includes forehand clear. Part 3. Cool down. It includes head to knee stretch. Part 4. Circle time. It includes hand-eye coordination. It is an essential badminton stroke for sending the shuttlecock to the rear end of the other team's court, depending on the circumstances of the game. This shot can be played defensively or offensively. Forehand clear. Steps to learn. Point 1. Use a forehand grip and stand sideways with your non-racket shoulder facing the net. Point 2. Shift your weight to your rear foot and raise your non-racket hand for timing and balance. Point 3. Bend your elbow, lock your wrist, and prepare to swing forward. Point 4. Contact the shuttlecock high and in front of your body with a strong throwing action, straightening your elbow and unlocking your wrist. At the bottom right side of the page, there are 2 pictures. In the first picture, a girl is getting ready for her forehand clear shot. In the second picture, she is raising her arm up for the shot. Page 77. Point 5. Follow through with your racket, shift your weight to your front foot and return to your base position. Lead up activity. Point 1. Players can practice in pairs and try to hit the shuttlecock towards the end of the court. The objective is to place the shuttlecock in a back gallery. Lead up activity. Point 1. Players can practice in pairs and try to hit the shuttlecock towards the end of the court. The objective is to place the shuttlecock in a back gallery. This exercise can also be done by tossing the shuttlecock to 2 opponents standing on far corners of the court as shown in the figure. Keep opponents A and B in a stationary position to develop accuracy. Point 2. You can also play the rally in pairs without dropping the shuttlecock. Mark out target zones where players are supposed to aim to hit the shuttlecock. On the right side of the page, there is a picture of the badminton court, where on one side of the court there is opponent A, on the other side there is opponent B, and on the opposite side there is another opponent. Circle time, hand-eye coordination. Discuss how you accurately predict the shuttlecock's path to determine the contact point for your clear. The non-racket shoulder or hand refers to the shoulder or hand on the opposite side of the hand holding the racket. Page 78. Forehand drop. There is a table at the beginning of the page which is divided in 4 parts. Part 1. Warm-up. It includes overhead arm stretch, rear shoulder touch, shoulder rotation. Part 2. Skill. It includes forehand drop. Part 3. Cool down. It includes head to knee stretch. Part 4. Circle time. It includes finding new things. The forehand drop shot is a gentle hit that lands close to the net on the other side. It's a tricky way to bring your opponent closer to the net and take advantage. Forehand drop. Steps to learn. Point 1. Use a forehand grip and stand sideways with your non-racket shoulder facing the net. Point 2. Shift your weight to your rear foot and raise your non-racket hand for timing and balance. Point 3. Bend your elbow, lock your wrist and prepare to swing forward. Point 4. Contact the shuttlecock high and in front of your body and hit the shuttlecock gently to control the shot. At the bottom left side, there is a picture of a boy standing in ready position to aim the shuttlecock. At the bottom right side, there is a picture of the same boy swinging his racket hand back to aim the shuttlecock. Page 79. Point 5. Follow through, shift your weight to your front foot and return to your base position. Point 6. Try to land the shuttlecock between the net and the short service line. Lead up activity. Your feeder standing across the net will feed you the high serves continuously, while you have to return the drop closer to the net and come back to the center of the court. Each player will get 10 chances. At the right side of the page, there is a picture of a badminton court depicting the drop to point zone, where the player has to feed shuttles in the given pattern 3, 2, 3 at the back of the court and 5, 3, 5 at the front court near the net area. Circle time. Finding new things. Discuss different ways of hitting the shuttlecock in which the force of the shuttlecock reduces significantly without much change in the action. Page 80. Badminton match. There's a table at the beginning of the page divided into 4 parts. Part 1. Warm-up. It includes full body stretching, jogging on the spot, ladder drills, high knees. Part 2. Skill. It includes badminton match. Part 3. Cool down. It includes full body stretching exercises. Part 4. Circle time. It includes enjoyment and focus. How to play. Point 1. The game is won by the first player who scores 5 points. Point 2. The player who wins a rally earns a point each time. Point 3. In the situation where player A serves, wins the rally, player A advances to serve with a 1/0 lead. Point 4. If player B wins the subsequent rally, player B receives the serve and the score is tied at 1. Players keep serving and rallying throughout the game until one person reaches 5 points. Page 81. At the top of the page, there is a picture depicting 2 boys playing a badminton match. Circle time. Enjoyment and focus. Point 1. Identify the rallies, shots, and movements in the games which you enjoyed the most, irrespective of who scored the points. Point 2. How did you regain focus when you started trailing on points? Page 82. Complete the following task. Point 1. Mark the court by joining the dots in the figure below. Point 2. Find out the court dimensions for single and doubles and label it. Point 3. Find out the basic rules of badminton and discuss them with your peers. On this page we have picture of a badminton court with dots given in the court for the children to join and find out court dimensions for single and doubles and label it. Page 83, Teacher Assessment. Serve, backhand low serve, forehand high serve and forehand low serve. There's a table on the page divided into 5 parts. Point 1. Student is learning how to control the racket and shuttle as they serve. Point 2. Student is making simple serves and working on accuracy and consistency. Point 3. Student can occasionally change up serves and have a moderate level of accuracy. Point 4. Student can modify their technique as per the requirement and serve consistently with good placement. Point 5. Student use a variety of serves with accuracy, control and strategy. Lift, backhand lift and forehand lift. Point 1. Student is learning how to control lifts in order to get the shuttle over the net. Point 2. Student has trouble with consistency, height and distance of the lifts. Point 3. Student raises the shuttle with a respectable height and depth with control. Point 4. Student lifts the shuttle to the back court consistently and precisely. Point 5. Student use strategically positioned lifts in rallies and execute them with accuracy. Page 84. Drive, forehand and backhand. Point 1. Student is able to hit the drive with improvement in timing and control. Point 2. Student can hit drives but lacks consistency, speed and direction. Point 3. Control has improved as the student hits the drives with respectable speed and accuracy. Point 4. Can keep opponent under pressure by executing quick and controlled drives. Point 5. Confidently executes strong, accurate drives and intelligently employ them throughout rallies. Understand bullying. Point 1. Student has trouble identifying feelings and hardly ever acknowledge their problem. Point 2. Occasionally becomes aware of the distress but finds it hard to pinpoint the reason. Point 3. Although having trouble controlling themselves, student is aware of the distress and its causes. Point 4. Has a good understanding of their distress and can control emotions to some extent. Point 5. Successfully controls emotions and completely understand the reasons behind distress. Unit 3 ends here.
Khel Yatra, you were just listening to this audiobook. Textbook of Physical Education and Well-being for Grade 7. Narration Mansi Chauhan. Sound Recordist Prasoon Kumar. Production Assistant Soumya Malik. Directed and produced by Vimalesh Chaudhary. This audiobook is brought to you by CIET NCERT, New Delhi, India.